Welcome back to the channel Spain Unlocked. My name is Anna and we are thrilled today to present you the usual Spain news update. The Catalonia region in Spain, North Spain, that will be implementing an obligatory knowledge of Catalan in order to approve residence permits. The second news will be about the choice between Valencian and typical Spanish or castellano in the Valencian community. Which area prefers what? And how the results actually are really different depending in which city or town you will live. Students here in Spain, how many of them actually abandon their studies before they get to finish and graduate right now? If it's worse or better than it was a decade ago, and why this is actually happening. Stay tuned. Catalonia in Spain is quite worried, mostly those who are foreigners who are planning also to travel to Catalonia and live there, relocate to Spain, Catalonia region, because there is a brand new update that came through the typical political parties in Catalonia. As you know, there are different regions and communities, comunidad autónoma, autonomic regions here in Spain, and some of them do have their own co-official language. With Catalonia, there is a slightly bigger issue because there's political parties who are more nationalists, let's call it like this. They wanted to be independent from Spain. They are not Spain, they are Catalonia. That's how it goes. And many politics and government in general, they prefer to be independent and they prefer to speak in their own official language, which is Catalan. And if before it wasn't an issue for migrants, for those who decide to relocate to Spain, to this specific area, people were able to still come and live here. They didn't need anything except from the official documents to be presented for the visa approval or residence permit approval. But now, what they are doing is to actually ask and require the diploma that you know Catalan, the co-official language of Catalonia, apart from the typical Spanish, which is Castellano. And this is supposed to be, if it will get approved, this is supposed to be the brand new requirement for the permits of residence in that region. Imagine if you want to come to Valencian community, where we have Valencian official language too, but it's not required to learn it to actually live here because it's an international community. There are so many people coming from abroad here, which we'll get to see in the second news today, that it is not a request to obtain the permit and live here permanently. But in Catalonia, it seems that it will probably be. So do you think that families will learn Catalan just to get the residence permit? Or you think that families will think twice and will probably choose any other region in Spain where the necessity of learning a co-official language is not obligatory to get the permit? Obviously, with years, everyone learned to understand it. We also do speak Valencian. We understand it. We get it, apart from Castellano. But it was not an obligation. It was not a necessity to learn it to be able to approve for your residence. Catalonia probably will have it. Let us know. Would you still opt for your residence permits and for Catalonia for relocation in case it gets approved? Or on contrary, you will search for any other destination? We'll read you in the comments down below. And a lot of people might say, well, why they're able to decide such things? Well, and it is because the president of our government, Pedro Sanchez, has authorized the political parties inside of Catalonia to take part into the migration process. So now they will happily do so, and they will do everything that's in their hands to ensure that you either speak Catalan and you can live here, and if you don't, are not willing to learn fast enough, you don't get the residence permit. Let's go with the news number 2, and it is about the final result of Valencian community in terms of the language choice for the next year, 2025-2026, next school year, which will start the second week of September, as it usually does. What is this language consultation? Oh, we've spoken about it in the previous news update, if I'm not wrong, and this is a vote. Basically, parents had to go to public schools where their children go and vote if they preferred their studies to be mostly in Valencian, or if they wanted to stick to Castellano, which is the typical traditional Spanish that's spoken in Madrid and in all over Spain. Okay. And what happened is that if parents choose Castellano, then they will be learning mostly in Castellano plus the other type of language, like it might be English or French or any other one, German, for example, and just a few hours of Valencian per week. But the vast majority of subjects will be in typical Spanish. For the ones that chose Valencian as a official language, as a co-official language for their children in school, the vast majority of subjects will be in Valencian. Just Spanish, Castellano will be in Castellano, plus the other language like English, French, German, etc. So the votes have been submitted, and right now there are several places where the vast majority of parents do prefer Valencian, and then there's others where almost all parents prefer Castellano, which is typical Spanish, in their schools for their children to learn. Obviously, what is the difference? How can you tell which region prefers what? First of all, there are official tables and graphs that you can search in one of the local newspapers. If you're interested, let us know. We'll send you a link here in the comments down below. And this tab shows you which municipality, which town prefers which type of language, and it goes by school as well. For example, Benidorm, a vivid example of international families. Our area, not only Benidorm, but Albier, for example, to Alicante City, these specific areas, they're international. Okay, there are so many families from different cultures, from different parts of the world, from United States, from Canada, from Germany, from Norway, from in general Scandinavian countries, Eastern Europe, North Europe, even France, Netherlands, any country in the world, they live here. And a lot of the times children don't even speak so good in Spanish, so learning in Valencian, it is twice as difficult for them, even though children are sponges at this age. But still, a lot of parents prefer for children to dominate Spanish, Castellano, and then you could start learning Valencian too, to integrate basically in the culture of the region. Thus, Benidorm, for example, Albier, Alicante are on Castellano. Then Villajoyosa, which is between Alicante and Benidorm, is all about Valencian, simply because even though there are foreign families there, people who've relocated to Spain, but the vast majority of parents are from there, originally from Villajoyosa, and Valencian is very, very common. For some reason in that specific area, they're very pro-culture, pro-history, somehow defend the Valencian official language. And this is why there it was almost like 90% of everyone who voted was Valencian. Thus, it will depend on the municipality, on the town, on the village, and on the specific school, the preferences. But you're always able to check it out. In private schools, you don't have to worry, because private schools are either half Spanish, half English, or it's English completely with just a couple of hours of Spanish as a part of a British curriculum. So these types of schools, they mostly have Spanish, English, and just 1 or 2 hours a week of Valencian. This is how it goes. It's an international type of schooling system. The languages that you're able to use anywhere outside Spain are prioritized than Valencian, that basically you would only use in our region, and that is basically it. So if you're interested about it, check out the video about public school system here too. If you have any kids and you will enroll them into a school in our region, you have all the information and more in that video. And shortly we'll post a video about private education in Spain as well here on the channel. Let's continue with the last news, shall we? Abandoning studies before they are officially over. The primary and secondary education in Spain are obligatory. This is not something you could technically abandon because it is obligatory education. But starting from the end of secondary school, which is from 16 years old, there's 2 years of bachillerato, plus you're preparing for university. You're preparing for the exams to go to university, and then you can either go to university or you can go to FP, which is the professional studies, which requires 1 or 2 years, and you're able to get a diploma, a title in specific job positions that do not require a university type of degree. And many young generations are doing exactly that. But how many of them are actually abandoning, and what is the case? Why right now we actually have way less students, young students between 16 and 24, abandoning studies than we've had a decade ago. Right now, it's around 12.9%, basically 13% of students that are abandoning before they finish the studies. And previously, around 10 years ago, it was 25.9%. So it was just 1/4 of all the students were abandoning their studies. There are obviously different types of motives. They're mostly economic motives, that if a family cannot pay for studies anymore, or if something happens and the child has, well, not a child, adult technically, has to go to find a job to support the family. This is what's usually happening. And also the previous years, honestly, we've had so many people abandoning because, well, what, you get a university degree, you pay for credits, because even a public institution, you still need to pay some money for credits. Thus, it's not 100% free education any longer. And it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort too. Thus, whenever you get a degree, you want to get a highly paid, nice job with good conditions, good work conditions. However, it is not the case in Spain. A lot of the times, the recent graduates find themselves in a position where they have their diploma, they're ready to go, they're ready to start working in a company, but all the offers that they get do not have the best work conditions and do not have the best salary either. Thus, they get disappointed, and the only jobs they can get easily are in tourism industry, in hotels industry, and this is not what they studied for, let's say it like this. So for that to be wasting my money, well, obviously I will abandon and I will finish it if I want to in the future. I'll just start working and making money. Why should I study if I will make the exact same money with or without studies? This was something that happened some while ago, but nowadays it changed completely. Why? Listen to this. Remember how after pandemics here in Spain, we obviously, all parts of the world, but here in Spain too, the inflation has got quite high up. It was more than 10%. There was a shortage of jobs. Right now, even the inflation is of around 3%. In Spain, it's slightly higher than the ideal one, which should be around 2%. So it's getting kind of outside of the control, according to the European Union and Brussels. Thus, the cost of living is increasing. The prices for food and supplies are increasing. The prices for properties to rent or to buy something are increasing too. And as a result, people with normal average jobs that do not need any kind of title are in the position where before they were middle class considered, and nowadays they can barely afford a rent. People cannot afford it because it is too much. Paying for a car, paying for gas or public transport, a rent, electricity, gas, water bills. If you need to buy some clothing, if you have children, material, supplies for school, books, etc. If it was a private school, then a uniform and a monthly fee to pay for it. There's a lot more that sums up to it. Private health insurance too. If you need it, we got you. We have great private insurance with competitive prices. Here down below, you can contact us and we can check the exact price for you. This can be a special insurance to actually ask for a residence permit afterwards, or just a typical regular insurance with or without co-payment. We even have insurance for pets, travels, accidents, and life insurances, and much more. So contact us if you need one. Thus, speaking about all of this, it's a lot of costs, and the medium class, it's not a medium class any longer, it's a low class right now. Thus, people know that they're not able to afford the lifestyle that they used to have. They're not able to afford a normal home for them because the rentals are so high up, and they cannot stack up the money and save up the money for the down payment for their house if they want to purchase one. So what should they do? The only way, and this is what younger generations are seeing, is to study something that requires a degree, study something that they know will have a higher salary than the ones that are here right now, the lower ones. And like this, you'll have slightly more chances to have a better life, not to struggle with money, and at least have enough to cover all the bills and have a decent home for you and your family. This is why right now young generations got to see that if previously it was possible, now without a good degree, without a good education, having a nice profession that will allow you to have a stable income, it's very difficult to survive. That is the absolute truth, which is why now it's 12.9%, which is actually below the Spanish national percentage here in our region, abandon their studies before they're over. Thank you for accompanying us on today's latest Spain news update. We wish you a great day, and we'll see you here on the channel with the new video. Slowly but surely, we're trying and planning on posting more frequent videos for you guys. So if you want to know some specific information, let us know here in the comments down below. We already have one petition for salaries in our region. Let us know what else you're interested in. Don't forget to subscribe, click a like, and comment down below to help us reach more people interested in relocating to Spain. We'll see you in a new video. Goodbye.